Good morning, teacher and classmates. My team is made up by Lucero Kawich, Itzel Loma, Michelle Montoya, and me. And we are going to talk about Islam.
Okay, so the first point is about the characteristics of Islam. Islam was founded in Mecca, today Saudi Arabia, by Muhammad in 610 AD. Muhammad preached his faith in the city of Mecca despite opposition from local polytheists and quickly built a religious community of early Muslims. The community was forced to relocate to Medina in 622, after which the group codified and began their expansion across the Arabian Peninsula. Nearly all of Arabia converted to Islam by 632, the year of Muhammad's death.
About the guiding principle, the five pillars of Islam are profession of faith, prayer to be performed 5 times a day, alms given to the poor, and the mosque, house of worship, facing during daylight hours in the month of Ramadan, and pilgrimage to Mecca, also called the Hajj, at least once in a Muslim's lifetime, if is physically and financially possible. The pilgrimage includes homage to the ancient shrine of the Kaaba, the most sacred site in Islam. Muslims gather for corporate worship on Fridays. Prayers and a sermon take place at the mosque, which is also a center for teaching of the Quran. The community leader, the imam, is considered a teacher and prayer leader. This is why the Prophet Muhammad said, "Not one of you truly believes until you wish for others what you wish for yourself." This image is the Quran and is the holy book which Muslims recite and turn to for guidance in all aspects of their life. It is the last testament in a series of divine revelations from God. Muslims believe that the key message brought by all prophets was the same: to believe in one God and not to associate partners with him, to stay away from sins and to lead a life devoted to earning God's pleasure. The Quran is unique because it is the only revealed book that exists today in the precise form and content in which it was originally revealed. The three most important temples are Temple Mount, Azka Mosque, and Dome of the Rock. The Dome of the Rock is the place where Muhammad is said to have ascended into heaven. Azka Mosque is a couple of hundred yards from the Dome of the Rock. Both are situated in a leafy side atop the Temple Mount. The Temple Mount site is known as the Haram al-Sharif, or the Noble Sanctuary, and is considered the third holy site in Islam after Mecca and Medina in Saudi Arabia. These temples are important because Muslims believe that the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven and houses the Dome of the Rock, Shrine, and Azka Mosque. The next image is about Idris. Muhammad's followers called Muslims revered him as the Prophet of Allah, the only God. Muslims considered Muhammad to be the last in the line of prophets that include Abraham and Jesus. Islam spread quickly, stretching from Spain in the west to India in the east within a century after the Prophet's death. Sources of the Islamic faith are the Quran, regarded as the uncreated eternal word of God, and tradition Hadith, regarding sayings and deeds of the Prophet. As a curiosity, Islam means surrendering to the will of Allah, the all-powerful, who determines humanity's fate. Good deeds will be regarded at the last judgment in paradise, and evil deeds will be punished in hell. Well, Islam is around the world because it has expanded greatly, is the principal religion of the Middle East, Asia, and the northern half of Africa. Muslims number 1.6 billion, representing 23% of all people worldwide. There are two major groups of Islam, Sunni and Shia. The overwhelming majority of Muslims are Sunnis, about 10 to 13% are Shia Muslims. Muslims are concentrated in the Asia-Pacific region, where 6 in 10 of all Muslims reside. Many Muslims also live in the Middle East and North Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. The remainder of the world's Muslim population is in Europe, North America, less than 1%, and Latin America and the Caribbean, also less than 1%. And as you can see in the image, the 10 countries with the largest number of Muslims are home to fully two-thirds of all Muslims. The largest share lives in Indonesia, followed by India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Egypt, Iran, Turkey, Algeria, and Morocco. Muslims make up a majority of the population in 49 countries. Nearly three-quarters of all Muslims live in these countries.
Good morning, teacher and classmates. My name is Lucero Kawich, and I am going to talk about Muslim culture. Social life. The life in the belief that good work will be done in the final judgment in paradise and evil deeds will be punished in hell. This life is based on 5 pillars or primary duties of Islam are number 1, the witness of faith, number 2, prayer to be held 5 times a day, number 3, giving alms to the poor and the max, and number 4, fasting during the day in the month of Ramadan, number 5, pilgrimage to Mecca at least once in the life of a Muslim, if it's physically and economically possible. Islam rejects racism. They have proselytism in mind, meaning that Muslims are not obligated to actively recruit others for Islam, and so it is forbidden. Jihad is seen as a personal internal struggle with oneself. The goal may be achievement in a profession, self-purification, or some the other noble goal. And Muslims follow a lunar calendar that began with the Ujira. Education. When a child reaches puberty, a book of acts is opened, where all his subsequent actions, both good and bad, are recorded there, which decides whether to go to paradise or hell. All people are considered children of Adam. The holy books are the Quran and the Hadith. The 6 key teachings in the doctrine of Islam include number 1, belief in Allah, number 2, belief in good and bad angels, number 3, belief in the prophets, number 4, belief in the revelations of Allah, number 5, belief in the last day of judgment and their hereafter, where all rise to be judged in paradise or hell. Number 6, belief in predestination. 18 habits. In this culture, avoid alcohol, drugs, eating pork, etc. Weddings. They vary greatly depending on the culture of the people involved. In Islam, marriages are considered social contracts that bring rights and obligations to both parties, and can only be successful when they respect and value each other. In Islam, not all people consume their marriage physical right away. Sometimes the girl may be very young, and it is considered more appropriate to wait until she is older. It's forbidden in Islam for parents or others to force or seduce young people into marriage. The actual Muslim wedding is known as a nikah. It is a simple ceremony in which the bride does not have to be present, and whenever she sends to witness to draft of agreement. Normally, the ceremony consists of the reading of the Quran and exchange the vows in front of witnesses for both partners. A special religious official is not necessary. Marriage must be declared publicly. They must never be carried out in secret. Most brides prefer a traditional white wedding dress. You could also have big parties with hundreds or a simple celebration with friends and close relatives. Dress code. There are various models and names for male outfits, such as thau, chilaba, bubu, but it is always based on a tunic with long or short sleeves. Wearing hats like taquilla, which is a short rounded hat worn for religious purpose, such as praying and protecting the mind, the turban or test. In women is given the use of burqa of nikah, which are full body with veils and tissues to cover mouth and nose. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Itzel Loma. I'm going to talk about politics. Remember, the Islamic politics led you today there are two types of Islamic extremists and Islamic modernists. About the human rights, same that reject the whole concept of human rights. They consider the human right to be an Western invasion. The ideal of human rights is not a universal value common to all humans begins regardless of religious belief. Other human rights critics prefer to talk about Islamic rights, based on the Quran and Islamic traditions. According to Madudi, the right to believe, security, freedom, and justice are basic Islamic rights. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation 1999, Cairo Declaration on Human Rights, states that fundamental rights and universal freedom are an integral part of Islamic religions. Okay, Islamic and human rights are compatible only to the extent that human rights do not challenge the Islamic law. For a smaller group of Islamic pragmatic reforms of Islamic law are not sufficient if Islam and human rights are not reconciled. If we know about the women's rights, unfortunately, in Islam, women are not treated as if they were important because in the Quran there are certain verses where it says that man is superior to woman and the woman must submit to the man. This type of interpretations leaves two women so reluctant as to really try to claim their rights. Still, there are certain groups that fight for these rights. For example, the International Muslim Movement Mushawa. Islam guidelines they follow for domestic and international relations. Although they may be two different topics, they can be discussed on the same topic. In the 1966, James Harry Proctor argues in his book Islamic and International Relations that the idea that there is a connection between Islam and the conduct of air distantly invalidates. Islam, as many of champions will proclaim, is a complex social, political, and economic and forgiving political system. Islam Air is a systemic charity in the concept of the world order that focuses on the relations between Muslim and non-Muslim space and the how the remain should be ordered. Islam speaks to abstract concepts such as the human community of believers and asabiya, group's feeling, and relates even a notion of extra relational agency. However, these are the primary components that constitute Islamic concepts of world, order, and giving a unique perspective. In simple words, the Islamic states don't interfere so much in international relations unless they are directly affected. No, not will they internationally accept that does not correspond to the earth is not as such is the Quran or its main pillars and does not want to police of other non-Islamic countries affect or interfere with the Islamic states.
Hello, my name is Michelle Montoya and I'm going to talk about the tourism in the Islam religion. Muslim travelers appreciate having a space where they can perform their daily prayers. There are many airports where we can find places reserved for prayer. In hotels, they reserve if they meet their needs, like gastronomic and amenities or other comfort, such as having a bidet in their bathroom of the hotel room. Muslim travelers usually wash their butts when they doing their needs.
Halal service. The Arabic word means legal. Halal is a term used specifically for what food, cosmetics, and personal hygiene products. Allowed, it is opposite for word haram. Are food considered prohibited under Islamic laws? All halal products are the ones not listed here. Haram products. Meat of the animals found diet. Pork and his derivatives, pierced with claws, carnivorous animals, alcohol, harmful substances and drugs, pork jelly, additives, preservatives, dyes, and these ingredients are considered haram, and gambling, and another things. In this photo, you can see a very example how the Muslims pray and read the Quran in a luxury hotel room with a panoramic view of the Kaaba. This pilgrimage takes places once a year. They tend to prefer differentiated the service for women, especially when they travel alone. These do not need to be designed exclusively for Muslim women.
For example, exists a beach on Italy with these criteria. Barcelona is among the best shopping destinations in the world for the Muslim tourists. Muslim travelers spent last year $62,000 million in different shops and restaurants around the world. Islam is a bit difficult today as it is governed by old rules, which many Muslims do not want to reform. Their culture is very present throughout their lives, since they are vital in social and personal life. We also got to know the Muslims are picky about vacation needs.